To buy this dip or to wait? Will this little 2-day rally go on to the next week and continue pushing higher? These are some questions that a lot of you are having right now, and in today's video, we're going to address them thoroughly. I'm also going to be showing y'all some stocks that y'all should be keeping in your watch list for the next week. Again, before we begin, don't forget to annihilate that like button on your way in. All right, so let's begin right off the bat. So the spy did pretty well on Friday. The momentum just kept pushing higher. It was pretty strong throughout the whole day. It showed a flag pre-market right here. Not the easiest flag to notice, but it was there, right there. All right. It broke out at like 650 and retested that previous level of support and kept going higher and higher. Now, was this the bottom to buy? Well, let's look at it. If we look on the 4-hour chart, again, when I look at the overall market, I look at different indices as well and different stocks and where they're at, looking at things big picture, right? To give y'all my very honest opinion and the most helpful opinion. All right. Now, what I'm seeing here is this. What I think is that we're going to creep up a little higher. The volume at the bottom is intensifying, and I think that we're going to get all the way to this level right here. Right there at around like 4,500. All right. And then when the SPY gets there, I think that there will be some turbulence. All right. And the reason why I say that is because we're going to look at NASDAQ. And NASDAQ, that is /NQ. And with the NASDAQ, if you look very, very closely, there is this thing that is in the way. It might be in the way at least. There is that level of resistance right over here. Right? Right over here. And I do think that we're going to hit that either on Monday or on Tuesday. So for anybody who actually bought this dip right here, I think you will be fine holding on to those 2 days. But you need to be very, very careful because at that level, people who got in on Thursday and on Friday will want to take some money off the table. All right. Now, will this thing go like this? Pop here and then slowly fade down all the way until like the end of the week. There is a possibility that we see something like that as well. There is that level of support right here also that you want to keep in mind. All right, definitely watch out for this. Don't be too greedy. This is a day trader's environment. And for long-term investors, going in small bit by bit wouldn't hurt you too much. But I do think that this is what we will see throughout throughout the last 2 days of February and in the beginning of March towards the middle of March. All right. Now, looking at some other stocks, again, a lot of stocks have been beaten up for quite some time. And one stock that I want y'all to keep in your watch list for the next week, that stock it actually crushed earnings. That stock is Square or Block, I should say. They changed their name recently. All right. And Block had earnings, which the results right here was sort of kind of predictable. Sort of kind of. There was a flag on here intraday on, I think this was Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday. I was bullish on this one. Another stock that had earnings on that day, which I was bullish on. Didn't do so well. That was BYND, but this one did hit. And it went all the way up towards 120. It's not done quite yet. I think it has a lot more room. And they gave a little hints right here on the 5-minute chart. Right there. There was an ascending triangle right there. And more buyers coming into the close. All right. Now, there is a gap at the top on the daily chart. If you go on the daily chart, number one, we got these buyers. right at the bottom, right there, there is a little gap right here, which will probably get filled way down. Like it's gonna take some time to get filled. But this one is right around the corner. The one at $128. Definitely watch for that little pop. It may happen, right? It may open up a lot higher. Again, if the Nasdaq pushes up overnight, it opens higher. It may open up what at 128, and then from there it's gonna retrace and then consolidate. But if it doesn't open up at 128, then there is a day trading opportunity to 128. All right, so definitely keep that one on your watch list. Now, looking at this one long term, for the long term investors who are like, is this the moment to start buying these tech stocks? Is this the dip? Should we buy now or should we wait? For Square, is that a good point at the moment? If you look on the weekly and you make this a little bigger like that, if you look on the weekly, you can see that it actually went all the way down to the 2020 pre-lockdown, pre-pandemic crash levels and bounce right at $88. Right, so this is a good level that long-term investors were looking at for a while. It broke through this previous one from 2018 as well. So this was the points where people were buying pre-earnings. Again, I showed you that little hint on the 5-minute chart that kind of hinted at some bullishness, some like an earnings beats and a bullish move. All right, but right now, worst case scenario, I think what it does is that it pretty much chills in here. Like worst case scenario, I think it just chills in here for some time, and then it moves, like it consolidates all the way until the next earnings before moving higher. That's the worst case scenario. I don't think we break below 80 again. Like that would be highly unlikely with the way it looks, with the way it's been beaten down for so long. All right, so for Square, long-term investors, this is a great stock to start dollar cost averaging in, especially after an earnings beat. All right, now another stock that we're gonna look at. That stock is, let's look at PayPal, the other processing company, and PayPal is also at its. This is the first week, the first green week in a very long time with convincing volume. The volume is a little bit high, not the highest, not the highest. All right, which kind of indicates that the recovery will be a little slow. Again, this is what I meant with the Square, with being like, with the worst case scenario being the consolidation followed by a run later, right? And also it's at these previous levels right here. Like it's pretty low. And it's too far from that moving average to the point where I'm thinking that there is a good chance that it's going to bounce very, very soon. Or it's just going to consolidate until that moving average catches up, all right? So these are two stocks that y'all should definitely keep on your watch list. And also to answer that question whether you should buy the dip or you should wait. Again, not financial advice. I'm just giving y'all the bigger picture as I see it. All right, you do what you want with that information. Okay, now another stock. I'm just gonna do a follow up on this one. The last stock is CATS. And CATS, that was one of the stocks that I told you to watch for a shorts. And my drawings are on here, as you can see. I haven't touched anything. So it went low to 179 on that day, not 176. I was wrong about that. But right now it's on the move, it's on the bounce. And I think that the next stop for this stock is going to be at exactly 191, maximum 195, before we see some like turbulence. So let's just make this thing just a little bit longer like that before we see another drop like this. Okay, so that's my honest thoughts on these stocks, and hopefully that answers your questions for those of y'all who are puzzled about it. And that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to annihilate the like button for the YouTube algorithm. As always, helps the channel a lot and allows more people to get this knowledge as well. Also, if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, definitely click on subscribe and click on the notification bell along with all notifications. That way you don't miss out on these videos. If you would like to be part of a private Discord community, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. If you are not following us on social media, you can find me at NGumah at PATTERNOLOGY LAB on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if all of this is brand new to you and you're seeing these tips in these tech stocks and you want to start investing slowly, easing your way in, dollar cost averaging in, you can find the instructions, left some very basic instructions in the description of the video below. Step 1 to step 3. It only takes about 15 minutes or less for you to get set up with all the tools you need to start trading / investing immediately. All right. You can also get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850 right after signing up with Webull using the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is NGumah with PATTERNOLOGY LAB, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.